the Bleeding Burgundy podcast, a Washington Commanders podcast for fans, by fans.
And now, John, Jesse, Scott, Max, and Tony.
Jesus Christ. You know, I forgot we only have a 30-second intro now. I almost wasn't here. Anyway, hey, man, I'm John Taman. I am the world's worst podcast host, but we are the world's best podcast, as voted on by 5 international members of this podcast panel. It was a unanimous decision, I got to say. So that's pretty good. 1 Point Safety Show is right up there, but
just close.
edged him out. All right, well, as it is, I'm John Taman. I got my nifty new hat on, and they're over there to my direct, well, I don't know, whatever side you're looking at me from. And if you're listening to us on the podcast, it doesn't make any difference. There's our friend Jesse. Get me out of here. What's going on? That's doing what? What's up, dude? How you doing?
I'm here. Yeah.
Oh, wait. That was the band. Yeah, you give these guys a couple of tokes before the
World's worst podcast.
Playing, oh, my God. Sorry, it's just pushing buttons.
It's descended into chaos. We've only been live a minute.
Stop. I couldn't stop the band. Anyway, how you doing?
I need a haircut.
You do. He's not going to tell you anything about
Tony says I look like a beetle.
Well, you would look like a beetle if a beetle let himself go. How about that?
Kind of two areas of the Beatles. You've got like the mop top on top and then the sort of late 60s beard at the bottom. So it's kind of a bit of like early Beatles, late
right.
Beatles.
You could go out there and tell those dudes tomorrow at work, tear out the beaver dam. Get over there. Anyway, that was a horrible thing. And Scott's probably going to yell at me. But you know what? I don't care.
Yes.
There we go. Here we go.
Blue noses.
Here we go. We're getting ready to go now. All right. And that's all I'm going to say about that because I really haven't researched it enough to actually talk any shit about it. John has secured the world's worst podcast host. That's right, for the next decade. I'm telling you, Scott G, welcome to the show. When I do something, I do it. All right? I do it. If I'm going to be the world's worst podcast host, your speakers are going to smell bad by the time I'm done. Anyway, speaking of smelling bad by the time I'm done, there's our good friend, Scott Hart. My goodness, you know, things just
I think I
roll
can
out
hear
rather
you, John,
easily.
just
How are you,
about.
Scott?
I heard that, but I don't think anyone can hear me.
Look at
so
Scott
I'm
with
gonna
the,
dip back in.
Scott, we got you.
Scott must have hit a big
Dude,
bet.
that microphone
He's got
is
that
picking up
nice,
Heathrow.
Sure microphone. That's big money right there.
Look
That's
at
big money.
That's right. I'll tell you what, for the 34 or so people in the UK that pay attention to us, that's worth it. Now, see, we can't hear you when you don't talk.
He's either frozen or he's completely
His camera stopped working.
Scott is acing the mannequin challenge right now.
Scott's contemplative face.
That's right. There it is.
Contemplating life. Oh,
Yes,
what have I
that's
done?
right.
What have I done? Why am I here?
Oh, my goodness.
Who's this mad host?
Well, I can't say anything about that, but I'm looking for my stuff and I can't find any of it. There it is. Oh, there he is. He's being contemplative. Good old Scott. There he is.
He's contemplated it and left.
Yeah. Anyway, the fella down there being very poetic, of course, Tony Wheat. How you doing there, Tony?
I'm very good, thanks, John. How are you?
I'm good, man. Back from holiday, are you? You were down in sunny Italy.
Sunny Italy, yeah. I wish I was back there, but yeah, there's only so much pizza, gelato, and beer one person can consume. So
No, I don't know about that.
When you find that number, let us know, Tony.
I was going to say, I'm still not sure
willing
what
to
it
go.
is.
I'd give it a shot.
Gelato right now.
Yeah.
Gelato's good. Anyway, Max, how are you doing today? Since we're going around the room saying hi to everybody, how you doing? How you doing there, Max?
Hi, Dad. How you doing?
I'm
Guys,
doing just fine.
guys, there's a game this week.
Yeah,
there's-
there is.
There's a
Sort of.
foot.
It's
I mean,
kind of
okay, but like, it's the football. Like, there's going to be football on the television. It's
Hey,
going
well,
to
want to put
Yeah.
jerseys on.
Hall of Fame game was good.
It was.
It
but
was
it's gonna
incredibly good. I'll tell you what, I couldn't believe I watched as much of it as I did, which was all of it. I could
His
not.
wife
believe
doesn't let him, Andre.
He's in Ireland. They're not allowed to smile too much.
We don't do
Smile.
smiling.
They're not allowed. He's got to be
Too many.
careful up there. What's going on, Andre? Yeah, man. I'll tell you what. Usually, I watch like the first 3-4 plays, their first 2-3 series, if at that much of the Hall of Fame game, and this time it was like, damn, this shit keeps happening. It's fun. Good game. So now everybody's going to be drafting Carson Beck real high. What do you think?
I mean,
Well, Haynes King.
Yeah.
His hurt hamstring. Here comes Haynes King.
Haynes King sounds like large underwear. Sorry.
I don't
but it
know
does.
if you saw, but Haynes King hurt his hamstring in that game. So they went out and signed Kyle Trask. And then a clip came out from their training camp of him throwing a pass to Felipe Franks, which is not only a sentence of who and who, but it's also it's two of the best quarterbacks in Florida's history. Throwing
yeah, I was
passes
going
to
to
each
say, I
other.
know who Felipe Franks is. But
Mhm.
Well,
I know
I'll tell you what.
he moved. Did he move to tight end? Didn't
He's
he? Wait, he moved to tight end.
he's like 6'7". He was he was like
I did hear
6'6",
that.
6'7", playing quarterback at Florida. So
Look, he did the wise thing because with Trey McBride in Arizona, they're not going to be looking for a tight end, and he might just escape next year because they'll have the first pick. So they'll be definitely looking for a quarterback. While we're bullshitting about other things like that, hey, the Vikings went ahead and named the Runt as their starting quarterback. I think that's rather.
is it early to do that? Does it seem early?
I was thinking the same
No.
thing. I mean, they
McCarthy
haven't even
sucks.
played-
I
Well,
agreed. But now you're giving the Packers a month to plan for Kyler Murray.
Yeah.
Well,
But it
you
must
know,
have been so obvious, and it must have been so obvious in camp that there was only going to be one
let me
week.
tell you something. You know how you plan for Kyler Murray? You put on the long cleats. So that way when you run around the field, you make all kinds of hazards for him to fall in. That give him all kinds of trouble. That's what you do.
put a
for
whole
him.
bunch of divots on the ground so they'll fall
right.
into.
Yeah, that's
I don't-
right.
It just feels early to name your starter. Even if you know who it is, it just feels early.
Well, I mean, I tell you what, this week on social media, I've met a lot of new people. Nice to meet everybody out there. But we've been discussing a couple of things. One of them, I think, Jesse, you've got a rant about, and we'll get to that in a little bit. But one of the things that we've been discussing is something that I've completely forgotten. Max, what were you talking about?
And it
Those
feels
jersey
early
numbers.
to name Kyler Murray.
No, that's
as-
what it was. All right, about Dan Quinn, not talking about the injury status of certain players. So I mean, look, I know, yeah, it's whatever. Look, I'm old. Okay,
Can you hear
Dan-
Scott?
I thinking about three things. This
I'm here now.
Oh, there he
Okay,
is.
can you hear everybody?
I've got everybody. Yeah, sorry about
Okay.
that. My apologies.
I like how you've got the microphone up so that you have to do like let me kill Mister to get up there to it and
Mm,
talk to us.
If you heard us talking before, but we said that you must have hit a big bet because you got a nice new shiny microphone.
Yeah, how'd you get the whole new setup?
yeah, just birthday and stuff. Wife was
Oh,
like, "Look, you need new
nice.
setup." So yeah, it's all good.
She does love you. Look at that. Who would have thought?
I know. Yeah. It's all good. I needed a bigger graphics card on this one, and this was best for podcasting. So I had a good research round, and yeah, I got this sorted. So
Well, I'll tell you
Now,
what.
if you just get your internet sorted, you might be able to fucking podcast.
you never know. Pay your bills, people. Pay your bills.
Look, what I was saying before Scott so rudely interrupted with all his nifty new equipment, and we'll just bounce off of this real quick. Dan Quinn not giving away things like what's going on with Trey Amos's ankle. All right. He doesn't tell us the specifics about certain things. And I'm of the thinking, like Max was saying, why do you name your starting quarterback? Is it early to do this? Number one, no, for him it's not, because O'Connell's on the hot seat and McCarthy sucks. But Quinn not giving away information because he doesn't fucking have to.
Yeah.
How do you stand on that, Jesse?
Yes, I'm full. I'm big on the as least amount of information put out as possible. To your
I'll go
opponent.
one further. Coaches should lie. You're gonna lie until you have to tell the
Look at
truth.
Shanahan.
and do regularly.
Right.
Yeah.
Here you go, Tony. You know.
Yeah, it's nobody needs to know the shit.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah,
let
It's
them
an absolute-
prepare for everything. You know,
that's it.
Let them guess. I think that for when it comes to eliminating all the distraction, which I think was what Scott was talking about there. Scott G just put that up in the chat. I think that we kind of, as a group of people on the internet, we kind of give ourselves a little bit too much voice, where we listen to ourselves a little too much. They don't listen to us at all. You know. So
Do you know what, John? That seamlessly links into Jesse's rant this week. I think.
I think it does. How
I
about
really
that?
do. Yeah.
He's got two rants this week, so we'll go with this first one. Go ahead. Hang on a minute. Let me go ahead and let me see here. You should have hit the video then. That would have definitely
should have done
made us
that.
think. There we go. All right, there we go. Who our good friend John, listener, says, "Why did you have the most mellow guy on the show do the rants?"
I try to pump it up a little bit. Just
There we go. Yeah, get crazy.
Listen, you fuck faces out there who are trying to fucking ruin the fan experience in Ashburn. Put the fucking phones down, you fucking dickbags.
Dickbags.
Fucking podcast isn't as special. Is it any more special than any other of the fucking 500,000 Commanders podcasts out there?
Except for this one.
Except for this one. So
And the One Point Safety Show.
Is it worth fucking them shutting down practice to fans altogether? Because it will go that way. That's what the Eagles do. They open one practice a year
day
because they do not want anything going out. So when you have all these fucking people out there with signs that say, put your fucking phones away, put your fucking phone away, it's not worth it. Nobody gives a shit.
Right, and except for the opponents, they actually do.
Yeah.
They focus
scour
on that.
they hire people to scour the fucking internet to see any type of formation and any type of play. They will study the shit.
Do you remember?
You're giving our own team a fucking disservice by doing this shit.
Hello,
so stop it, you fucking pansy prick.
You pansy pricks. Hello there, Simone. Simone is here. She wanted to hear me do Colonel Coughlin today. Back in the old days when Colonel Coughlin was getting in trouble for having his big tough camps and everybody was yelling at him. I made him
shave your fucking mustache.
That's who? Me? God dang it.
You're not talking about Simone.
Simone,
you really threw me there. What?
We'll clip that.
What?
Someone that
We like her coming back. Don't be insulting me.
I know who you're talking about. I know exactly who you're talking about. Other content creators are available, Jesse. Yeah.
Did he? Here's the thing, though. On any given day, you really can't tell if you shaved it or not.
That's true.
The way I look at it. But he's been giving me some good shit. Anyway, But look, I think a lot of people nowadays are immune to the idea that other people can get something from what they're doing, right? And this goes out into our lives in a whole bunch of ways, but we'll keep it to football. Look, it's true. Do you remember now, Scott? You weren't a fan in 2001 when Dan Snyder first got the team. 2000, when we bought all those free agents and all that shit. He was the first team to ever charge for training camp. Jesse, remember this?
Oh yeah.
$10 to get in, $10 for fucking parking. Okay. It was outrageous. Everybody was like, oh shit, right? You're charging to get into training camp. But what that meant was that anybody could get in, including people that worked for the Cowboys, that worked for the Giants, that worked for the Eagles. And they did. They came. All right.
Of course they did.
What you're showing them is really real, unless they just close practice to everybody and say, we're not going to show you anything.
I think that's the way it's going to go, John, if it carries on the way it is. So perfectly valid rant, because we didn't need to see the film of Laremy Tunsil getting injured. And that was from a fan's or a content creator's mobile phone upload. No reason for it whatsoever.
Andre asks, we know they film each other, but do you think they hire lip readers? Absolutely.
Yes, that's why they cover their mouths.
They have the cards. Absolutely.
Look,
100%.
man, you know what? If I was in the stadium, I'm putting lip readers over there. That's why they do that. And if what is Scott?
I think Scott's internet's gone again.
Well, I would, and they take everything that they can do to get an advantage. They just do. All right. So I remember the Ravens. They used to put a camera in that big fucking Raven thing, that stupid mascot. They put a camera in his nose, and they walk over and block by the huddle and all that. Actually,
I think what's interesting is, and I agree with Jesse for what it's worth, but it's how this is policed around the league, and that teams actually are very different in terms of how they police it. And that, Mark Bullock, obviously, used to work for the Athletic, the guy who does all the X's no stuff. He was saying that the Commanders have been notoriously tough generally in the past, trying to police it. But like teams like the Ravens, he said the Ravens basically almost like live stream their entire practice. So. It does vary around the league, but I mean, clearly, if the Ravens are doing that, and I don't watch the Ravens practice, but if they are, then why would you do that? Like Jesse said, why would you do that?
Right. We all love the team, right? And yeah, it's nifty to have everybody looking at your shit. You might get to actually have somebody on ESPN say, here's a goddamn video from a guy in a crowd, and you can say, hey, that was me to your friends. But really, other than that, this is your chance to actually help the team. Don't give away secrets.
Look, and they do live stream practice, but they don't let them live stream installs. And a lot of important shit. I will say, like, when you go to the camp, they have a person every 10 feet in the bleachers, and it's basically security. Mm-hmm. They will yell at people, put your fucking phone away. And I've noticed on a couple of these videos that their phone is in their pocket as they're walking, and they're recording this shit. And that's the Cowboys do. You know what you're doing. You know exactly what you're doing, and you're a fucking prick.
And why you shouldn't be doing it? If your phone's in your pocket, you know what you shouldn't be doing.
Yeah.
All right.
So
well, there you go.
It's different saying a kid's there and they want a little snapshot of Stefan Diggs. Okay, but don't do it when it says no fucking filming. Phones.
And there's a reason for it.
They have a paddle. They raise it up. No fucking.
I've seen them spank people with it,
and these should get spanked right. In
that would be interesting. I think that would be a fun thing to do at the end of practice. Is let fucking Sam Cosby come over there and spank some people with the paddles. All right, there you go. There you go, man. That's the first of our 2 rants today from Jesse. All right, let's get to some news.
He's still here.
Let's get some news. Where is Scott? I don't know where he went.
Well, I think his internet went again. He sent a message to the group saying his internet had gone down.
Yeah, but that was from 2024. It just got through. All right. Anyway, we do have a sponsor today, but I'm not going to play it until Scott comes in because it's his sponsor. All right. Anyway, let's get to some news. Laremy Tunsil, obviously, the fucking elephant in the room, but he's not the elephant in the room. This is Coleman. Can Coleman do it? That's the elephant in the room. Fuck your bike. Look, man, I'm all right with Coleman. It sucks about Laremy Tunsil. There's no other way to discuss that particular thing that happened other than just to sit around and kick a can and say it sucks, because it sucks. It just shit happens and injury happens. Jesse, you got anything to add to that?
Yeah, I'm of 2 minds with this. I look at it this way as, hey, Coleman was our starting left tackle in 2024. And
as a rookie.
As a rookie, he did an okay job. But we got to remember is that him and Cornelius Lucas, they did, switch off.
Also, remember, Coleman didn't have a training camp that year. He was hurt.
That's true too.
That's right.
And I think that's one of the main reasons why
getting NFL contact was week 1. So
go ahead, Jesse.
That was one of the reasons why. But then you got to look at it like this: they went out of their way to go sign, trade for Laremy Tunsil. Yeah. Yes, he is one of the better left tackles in the league.
Top
but
5.
Not only did they do that. Okay, once they signed him, we're like, okay, well, they'll move Brandon Coleman over to the right side. But they didn't. They went and drafted a right tackle. What are we going to do with Brandon Coleman now? We're just, he was in an NFC championship game. Well, come 2025, he doesn't even make a starting guard, when initially that was the plan. So you got to think something's there for them not to believe in Brandon Coleman that much as to fill 3 different spots of somewhere that we all fans thought that he could actually play.
All right. So are you in or out on him?
I'm
wishy-washy.
I'm wishy-washy on Brandon
Put up the
Coleman.
graphic.
I'm not sure.
All right, I couldn't help that.
But I will say this:
out there by himself.
It's not Wiley.
Yes, that's the thing. It's not Wiley. Now, Tony, you've been pretty quiet this whole doggone show. Tell me what you're thinking in terms of this offensive line and how it's shaping out now that we are not going to have Laremy Tunsil indefinitely.
Yeah, I mean, look, there's no point glossing over what a massive disappointment it is to lose Tunsil. It changes the way you change.
I don't know. I had mine out when I was a kid, and I got to eat ice cream. It wasn't too bad.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just terrible. Sorry,
but it changes the way it changes the way you block things. It change with Tunsil, your blocking schemes are going to be different because you can, generally speaking, even against the best edges in the league, you can leave them on an island more often than not. So you have to change how you're going to scheme things up to a certain extent. I was listening to something interesting on one of the pods earlier today, and the question was asked.
Go ahead, name them.
It was Connor Orr, I think, from Sports Illustrated.
Okay,
and
we're all right with them. They're not going to say our
It was just his opinion, and it kind of registered with me a little bit. Was that he was saying in some offenses, losing the left tackle like Tunsil would be an absolute disaster, but in his view, and it is just his view, the sort of offense that Blau is likely to run makes the loss of the left tackle not quite as desperate as it would in certain other sort of forms of offenses. That they would, you can still, you've got two receivers in McLaurin and Diggs who can win quickly. Yeah. You get the ball out quickly, and a lot of the sort of Detroit Ben Johnson type offense from 23 at least. Now, obviously, they've got to evolve that. Was focused on quick game, get the ball to the tight end, get the ball to the running back. So, there's no point saying, "Oh, Coleman, Coleman's going to be grand." But Coleman, like you said, Coleman played in 24 all the way through the season, was fine. I think the questions around Coleman would have been more around his durability than his ability.
What do you think, Max? Oh, I'm sorry, you weren't finished?
No, fine. Go on.
I don't necessarily know if I have a problem with it yet, because
why did I even bother to interrupt Tony for that? Jesus Christ!
Because we don't.
You're on a podcast, right?
Yeah. So let me explain it before you yell at me. We don't know what Blau's offense is.
Right.
So
that's true. We
don't know if we're going to be, heavy quick pass. They've been saying in camp we've been doing a lot of trick plays. Like, we don't, athletic ability at the left tackle.
Blockers for that shit.
We don't know.
You also need to throw off people videotaping.
We don't know if we need the most athletic left tackle for this offense. We'll be able to tell in a month and 2 days. But frankly, I think it's good that this injury happened now. If this injury happened in 3 weeks, we would be up a shit's creek, because all of a sudden, now we've got 3 weeks before the season and we have to get this new left tackle going. Now,
I point out that he stepped in. His first actual action in the NFL was in week 1. I remember we talked about that. We were all very nervous about it, and he didn't hurt himself. He had a very good game against Myles Garrett. All right, granted, help him out. John Bates came back today. That was a pretty big thing. I mean, they only had a walkthrough, but he seems to be back and ready to go, which is going to be helpful to be able to help Chip over there if he needs it. I'm not terribly concerned about it because, you're right. We do have time to work on it. And he's a veteran now. He's 3 years into the league, man. He's had two solid camps now, third camp, 2 seasons under his belt. If this is what happens, this is what happens. I'm not gonna cry and scream. Oh my God, the whole season's gonna be over because this happened. It's not ideal, but anyway, there's Scotty. Scotty, can you hear us? Can you hear us there, Scotty?
I've got you. I don't know what the hell's going on here. I think it's to do with permissions.
No, it's Sunspot. We just
take the gerbil out of your ass and put it back on the wheel.
That's what you got to keep the wheel moving. So anyway, we're talking about Coleman. How do you feel about Brandon Coleman as our starting left tackle?
Well, I'm not entirely happy because obviously Tunsil's gone down, but it's a good backup to have. He's played tackle before. Obviously, his rookie season, he was very good. And when he was on tackle last year, he didn't give up any pressures. He didn't give up any sacks at all.
There you go. Well, of course. That is our good friend Scott Hartley from Barrow and Furnace UK, and his appearance is brought to you by the good people at Abner Wu Labs.
For some of us,
Abner Wu,
the struggles of the day are too much. For some of us, the mental exhaustion of basic tasks are more than we can handle. On those days, you need pre-CTE. Pre-CTE gives you the will to keep going, to say, I don't know what's going on, and I don't care. New from Abner Wu Chemical Solutions. Cam Scatabo, a once daily pill to help smooth the wrinkles of the brain and make your days go by just a little bit easier. Cam Scatabo may cause drooling, seizures, uncontrollable wandering into traffic, public genital fondling, and mild brain failure. Do not take Cam Scatabo if you are nursing, pregnant, or may become pregnant unless you are a New York Giants fan, then who cares, because nothing's going to help that fucking kid anyway.
Cam Scatabo.
Ask your doctor if pre-CTE is right for you.
Cam Scatabo.
Enjoy a stress-free life again with Cam Scatabo.
There you go, Abner Wu Pharmaceuticals. Bringing us Scott Hartley's appearance here on the Blue Burgundy podcast.
Thank you, Abner Wu.
Yeah, there you go. Hey, so if you're over there watching this on social media, come on in over here on YouTube. Give us a like, give us a subscribe. Everybody, please subscribe to our channel. I have no idea if it'll ever do anything for us, but we just like to say that kind of stuff because we're supposed to say it. We're supposed to whore out for your attention. And we would like so. And if you do subscribe to us, I promise you'll get more fun shit like that. So, come on in and talk to Scotty. He's had some Cam Scatabo. He's feeling all right today. All right. Let's see what's up next up on the old thing here. All right. Stefan Diggs came into camp. All right. So we're all happy about that, I would expect. I'm very happy about that.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. I honestly.
Listen, I said, I think last week, I was like, didn't necessarily think we needed Diggs, but I'm extremely happy that we got him. Especially just for the fact of the depth reasons. If something, knock on wood, something were to happen to Terry, you do have a very good vet that can step in and fill that void. But then you have, Terry on one side, Stefan on the other. It's going to be hard to put cloud coverage and bracket both of them at the same time. So I think that it's just good for Jaden and the offense altogether.
I think it's even more important now with, as I mentioned briefly before, with the Tunsil injury, having someone who can win quickly.
Sure.
As Diggs does, bang, get the ball out, and you've got two guys who can do that too now. So,
Yeah. Simone, of course, says it's next man up for me. Herbert lost his starting tackles last year, and they made the playoffs. This is terrible. I shouldn't even be doing that. He did get harassed like hell, though. Yeah, Herbert.
He got the shit beaten out of him all season. But
Herbert, he's Mr. Stat. He's Mr. Look at my stats. But she's right. Next man up. And when we talked about that last year, and that was such a thing, that was such a phrase going around, next man up. Yeah, that's good when it's the next guy. But when it's the next to the next guy, that's when it gets to be a real flipping problem. I'm killing her. I'm killing her slowly, making her giggle and laugh. All right, let's see here. What do we got? I'm thrilled about Stefan Diggs, to be quite honest with you. I don't care less if he wants to play around with hairdressers off the field. The guy produces everywhere he goes. Last week, Stephen A. Smith had a whole bunch of crap to say about it because I didn't even get my intern to look up his statistics, and it made me look stupid. So he had this thing to say where he's not sure what he's going to get for it because you're talking about a team that's not going to have anybody behind the number one wide receiver. So I asked Max, you got your stat ready, right?
Yes.
How many teams last year? All right. So for all of you people looking for we need a number 2. We got one now. Probably the best one in the league.
We got a 1A.
How many teams?
I mean, a 1B.
A 1A. We got a 1A. How many teams had a 1,000-yard receiver and a 600 or more yard receiver, whether it's a tight end, running back, wide receiver, whatever?
11.
Who was 11?
So
a third of the league.
New England had one with Diggs and Hunter Henry. Cincinnati had Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. Houston had Nico Collins and Dalton Schultz. The Colts actually had 2 over 700. They had Alec Pierce at 1,000, Tyler Warren at 817, and Pittman at 784. Denver had Cortland Sutton with 1,000 and Troy Franklin with 700. Dallas obviously had Pickens and Lamb, both over 1,000, which Philly had Smith and Brown. Detroit had St. Brown and Jamison Williams. New Orleans had Olave and Jawan Johnson. Arizona had Trey McBride and Michael Wilson. And then the Rams had Puka and Devontae Adams, which also only 4 of those teams had 2,000-yard receivers. That was kind of shocking when I was finding all of that.
It's not as prevalent as you might think. Most teams are a number 1 and then a big distance between the number 2. So when we were all talking about not having signed somebody, like Jesse, you said earlier about you were okay with our guys going forward, which I was kind of feeling the same way too. And I was leaning on that. So I'm going to start with you, Scott, because you've been kind of in and out all day. In looking at our wide receiver room now, I think we got some tough cuts to think about. Who are you looking at right now on the bubble?
Absolutely. Looking at Van Jefferson and De'Ami Brown from the wide receiver room is kind of where I'm looking at, definitely out of them two.
You think Van Jefferson being related to George Jefferson would help him in any way?
No, not at all.
I'm glad you know who George Jefferson is.
I do, yeah. But it's one of them where I do think them two. I do think them two are definitely on the bubble. It's weird. I mean, De'Ami's Jaden's boy. We know what we got with De'Ami Brown. I don't rate him as a receiver at all, and he's on a cuttable contract. So for me, the only thing I do think is if you try to get him to the practice squad, that someone would pick him up. I do genuinely believe that.
So, all right, now I'm going to toss it around. Max, you're coming up next. Let me ask you this. When we're saying things now, all summer, we've been saying Van Jefferson and De'Ami Brown. These are the guys, when they signed them, we were all kind of rolling our eyes. However, I can't think of one wide receiver in camp right now that's getting any bad publicity.
No.
All right. So how hard is this decision becoming, Max? How many do you think we're going to keep?
Well, when I had my preliminary 53 that I sent you guys last week, I had 7, including Jalen Lane as a punt returner.
Yeah, that's
and
the other. That's a conundrum.
I had De'Ami as the keep, and I had Van Jefferson out. But that includes Terry, Stefan Diggs, Antonio Williams, McCaffrey, Treylon Burks, De'Ami Brown, Jalen Lane, which, that's leaving Van Jefferson off. And frankly, that's kind of what we expect from Van Jefferson.
Unfortunate because he's having a good camp.
He's having a really good camp.
He is.
Yeah. I've got 7 of my initial 53.
I think you can get Van Jefferson to practice squad, though. I really do.
And honestly, if we're going to just look at the distinguishables,
Maybe, yeah.
De'Ami is better at breaking tackles than Van Jefferson. That's the biggest thing.
De'Ami runs that tunnel screen.
What about Bradley? What about Bradley?
Bradley's practice squad, but he's getting a lot of good publicity. Terry likes him a lot. I tell you what, here's the thing. Good problem to have. Tough cuts, good problem
that's
to
the
have.
thing. Yeah,
right.
It's me. I would much prefer Van Jefferson making it over De'Ami Brown. I think we've done this.
Hold on, keep that up there.
We've done this De'Ami Brown thing for multiple years. I just don't rate De'Ami Brown. I don't care how good of a camp.
I get what you guys are saying, but I rate Jaden Daniels, and he's not a rookie anymore, which is last time he had De'Ami Brown. And I think you're right. He's probably on the bubble. Scott G writes, Jalen Lane as a wide receiver is not having a great camp. You're right. Go ahead, Tony.
I agree with Scott G there. I think that we've said everybody's having a great camp. The word about Lane hasn't been quite as positive. However, obviously he had the 2 kickoff returns, the 2 punt return touchdowns last year, so he's a major weapon in the special teams game. But if we're talking about, and I know it's not just purely about their ability as a receiver, because you have to have the returns game. If it's purely in terms of who's the best receiver, Lane would be the one that would go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
But that punt return ability, you cannot see that.
But it's not. So I understand that.
Antonio Williams.
Well, yeah, he's on.
He can do punts, so they can look at it like this, be like, hey, Williams can be our punt returner.
I am not going to compare these 2 players. I'm just going to point a fact. Devin Hester could not play wide receiver. And Devin Hester had a 12-year NFL career. So,
that's true. The dude had 2 punt returns for touchdowns last year. He also had a very bad fumble at like the 8-yard line, if I remember right. He threw the ball out of bounds. But 2 touchdowns. You can't sneeze at that.
When's the last time we had 2 punt return touchdowns in a 5-year span?
Yeah.
Before then, it had been 10 years since we had one.
Right. But do you say to yourself, I've got a Devin Hester here?
No.
In Jalen Lane?
No, like I said, I'm not trying to compare the players. I'm more so just making a point of, the best return man of all time could not play wide receiver.
Agreed. And I think you're right, Max, in what you're saying. If we take these two wide receivers in Luke McCaffrey and in Jalen Lane for kickoff and punt returners, I mean, McCaffrey didn't skip a beat doing kick returns. We all looked at it.
And McCaffrey's having a fantastic camp.
He is. And he, at the moment, I know unofficial depth charts mean absolutely nothing, as even Dan Quinn himself pointed out this morning. He is wide receiver 3 right now. That's
good
a fact.
for him.
He
good
should
for
be.
him.
I mean, he's playing like it. Go ahead, Scott.
And I think he could be the slot guy. I mean, everyone's kind of not writing him off, but because we've got Antonio Williams coming in as the new shiny piece, and as a draft pick, everyone's thinking, well, it's going to be Williams. I'd say hold on a minute, because for me, McCaffrey can play the slot absolutely fine, and I think he's gonna probably cement himself in that spot.
Well,
he's
you know,
6'2".
they're putting McCaffrey. He's not just primarily working out of the slot. He's moving all over the place. He's
and this is what I've been trying to say.
As well.
We've got a lot of guys that are all kind of the same type, but can move all over the place, including Terry, who had been stuck out on an island in one spot. Go ahead, Jesse. I know
this is a whole crux of the issue that we're talking about. We're arguing about, the last receiver spot. And it's hard to pick someone who has to go.
Mm-hmm.
That is a damn good thing, because
last
year
is Treylon Burks even in that conversation?
I don't think he's in the conversation of getting cut. I think he's probably 4 or 5, somewhere around there.
Tony, where you stand?
You can interchange 3, 4, and 5. I think back and forth.
I think I agree. No, go on, Jesse. You finish your point.
It's going to be a tough decision that
100%.
that coaches are going to have to make, but it's one of those tough decisions. It's a good tough that most teams would like to have.
All right. Well, before I could throw it to you there, Tony, I'm going to add something to that, because tough decision there. If we add to the room, Scott G said maybe he takes that specialist roster spot for Jalen Lane that Nick Ballore had. That's not a bad idea. The kid can return punts, but a tough decision here. If we're going to keep 6, 7, even, that takes away from somewhere else. Okay, the tight end room is having a fucking camp. They are having a carnival out there.
I disagree with you, John. I don't think it does take away, because I'm not saying the tight end room. I'm saying you were talking about the machinations of the 53 here, and you're saying, if we keep 7, it takes away from elsewhere. Now that Tunsil's injured and won't play, that's one less lineman.
Oh, yeah, we don't have
We're probably going to have to bring another one in. But the thing about it is, too, we're forgetting on the other side of the ball here. We're not keeping that many cornerbacks as teams usually do.
But right now we're down
4 cornerbacks. That's all this team's going to keep.
Right. We're down 1. That's the thing about that, with about Dan Quinn not saying what people's injuries are. Amos with his ankle. But you know what? I tell you what, I'm sorry. I was going to throw this to Tony, and we threw it all away from him. Tony, go ahead. Did you even remember the question? You know where we are?
Yeah, no, I'll go back to the question, but just to finish off
he's an educated man. He wrote notes. Good for you.
Well, I can barely remember, but anyway, the corners and safeties. I think the accepted wisdom seems to be that they'll keep 4. But on my first 53, I went a bit controversial, and because I'm not that happy with the corner room, I went for 5 and 5 safeties rather than 4 and 6. So you've still got 10. You've still got 10 defensive backs, but you've got 5 and 5 rather than 4 and 6. Now that could change, but anyway, back to the receivers. What obviously happened with Diggs coming in is that it bumped everybody bar Terry down 1 in the pecking order. Logically. So what that means is now, though, some of these guys are now fitting into a place that is probably more realistic for the skill sets. You've got 3 or 4 guys there. In fact, you could argue that any of Williams, Luke, Diami, Burks, maybe even Jefferson could be that wide receiver 3/4. Mm-hmm. So I think the actual composition of the receiver room now looks better in terms of, if Diggs wasn't there, we'd be having the conversation that we've had all summer, which is one of these guys is going to have to step up to be a 2, and it's going to be a stretch. That would be a stretch. Now it isn't a stretch.
Okay. So now, based on what, Max, you were telling us about your stat there, did we kind of get away from that? Based on that, if we were not to even put Diggs in the conversation, so this is a whole moot point, but if we're looking at the league as a 2/3 of the league had the Super Bowl champions. They didn't. Did they have a 1,000-yard receiver and then a 600-yard receiver? I know.
Well, Jackson Smith and Jigba, I'm sure.
And Jigba was both.
Yeah,
I know.
and Jigba went off
1,700 yards. Yeah,
but Cup was there. I mean, there was also, keep in mind, in terms
Cup had like 450 yards, right?
Cup had almost 600, but Jigba had 163 targets last year.
Yeah.
Their next highest target was 70.
Yeah.
I mean, that's more than double.
I mean, that's almost 100 more targets.
Look, Terry has never gotten over like 88 targets. I think.
Well, Taylor Heineke's arm was going to fall off.
The most catches Terry's had in the season was 87, because that was part of this discussion we had last week about would you go with Terry or Flowers. I looked up the stats. Flowers, he's never had
what I was going to ask.
Catches for 1,100 yards.
2, 3.
Yeah.
Sorry, Scott G put the question up. This is what I'm going to ask you, Max, about that list. How many of these teams made the playoffs? Obviously, the Patriots got to the Super Bowl. 5 of them. Five out of the 11 teams.
So the Patriots made it. The Texans made it. The Broncos made it. The Eagles and the Rams.
Okay. All damn good teams. So, I mean, we have that problem covered now. So we're just talking about some.
But and not only with the receivers itself, but the tight ends as well too. We've got some pass catchers that are coming on. You got Yankoff that's killing it every day in practice. Good things are coming in. Good. I'm hearing more about Sennett and Yankoff than I am about Chick.
Well, all right, let's do this. For all of you that are listening to the podcast on headphones, sorry about that, but this is Stock Up, Stock Down. And I'll tell you what, I'm going to start right there. Colson Yankoff, stock way, way up. The dude is making it hard for anybody else to get their name called in terms of tight ends. Not only is he doing well, he's doing spectacularly well. Dude, Wes Welker as our tight ends coach might be a fucking genius move that nobody saw coming. Jesse, you're next. Who's stock up for you?
I said him earlier, Luke McCaffrey.
Luke McCaffrey.
I mean, every day it's everybody's talking about Luke coming out. So give it to the white boy.
Now, is that because he's white?
I don't know. I think it's fun. I kind of want him to play slot to be in that Welker type of an Edelman, type of player. But I think he's bigger and he's a little bit more versatile to them. So,
okay, all right. So all right, Scott, stock up for you.
Stock up for me this week is Jeremy Reeves.
Jeremy Reeves
starting free safety. He's been getting a lot of ball, a lot of playing time with the ones, and he is currently on the depth chart as the starting free safety.
All right, that's a good call right there, Revo. Man, I tell you what, as far as I'm concerned, that guy is burgundy and gold in his soul. That's we have guys like that come along. They don't necessarily have to be superstars, but Jeremy Reeves is one of them. Max, who's your stock up?
Only he's good. He would be good at playing safety. Well, go ahead.
Dude, I'll tell you what. When him and Cam Curl were in there as rookies, they did well, and it wasn't just Cam Curl. Reeves played pretty well. They were in together for like 4 games at the end of the season, and they had to get in there, and he did okay. Max, go ahead. Sorry.
So I'm going to take a fruit and Jaden Daniels.
He's not a fruit. He just lives with his mother a lot. That's all.
What I mean by that is Jaden Daniels.
Right here, some blueberries.
People were saying today he's just ascending to the point where the game is just he can do whatever he wants, and that's what you want from your franchise quarterback. It's something I've never seen.
I think what I want from my franchise quarterback to stay fucking healthy.
Correct. Yeah.
Listen, I'll tell you what. When I see these videos in camp, the passes that he throws. Look at the spirals. They're works of art. Monet would look at his spiral and go, "Oh, it's beautiful spiral," because they're so tight. They are as tight. I can't make it.
You can't say that.
He's got lovely tight balls.
They're beautiful. They're beautiful balls, man. The passes that he throws, and they're so catchable. His balls are so tight and so catchable. But I'm dead serious, man. There was a play last Saturday, I think it was, with Terry with a back shoulder at the pylon, and I think he beat Rasul Douglas. Right? It was a beautiful throw, and that was just it because Rasul Douglas turned around and yelled at him, "Oh, was that a back fade?"
Oh yeah.
Right, that one.
I saw that
but
one.
it's the pass. The pass is it's exactly where it needs to be, and it is perfectly catchable. He's not drilling some guy in the shoulder and knocking him out. If you got knocked out because he got hit in the shoulder, you're a pussy. But you understand what I'm saying.
To elaborate a little bit more off Jane
Tony.
Daniels, it's real. Like you're hearing the stuff how much he has command of this offense. And he's kind of you're hearing how he's made it his own, and he's just they're huddling up more. They're huddling up more, so they're like he's talking to players before the play. Before they break the huddle, and he's just got like beautiful command of this offense. And I think as long as he stays healthy, he's going to be good.
Oh, absolutely, Tony. Your stock up. I'm sorry, we got away from you.
No, you're good. We've done a receiver, so I was going to do Williams, but we'll go Joshua Josephs. I think this week again, he's kind of not under the radar, but he's getting a lot of good reviews still about how dynamic he is, how he's
getting a lot of playing time Friday,
dropping into coverage. So he's one of the guys, and we might discuss this, but he's one of the guys I think that will really be worth watching, as Jesse said in the scrimmage tomorrow against Miami, and also the preseason game.
All right. Good call. All right, stock down. Do I have to play the thing again? That's very loud. All right, so stock down. We'll go around the room again there. Tony, we'll go backwards this time. Stock down. Who are you falling out of love with right now?
The Kickers, by the sounds of it.
Yeah.
Good shout.
Good call. I got a question. I have a question
for you last week.
All right, so you
bring,
guys.
Bring more in.
Bring a
busload of men.
I'm talking to our two UK men here. You guys, and you too, especially you, Tony, since you are an official in a major sports league. That day where both of them missed multiple kicks, how much could you potentially put on like the groundskeeper for that shit?
A lot.
Don't fuck with us, goddamn you! Don't try to put that on us.
As an ex-kicker in rugby, I can speak sort of fairly close experience.
I mean, that's a lot of kicks for both of them, right?
There's a lot of things that do affect you, and you have good days and bad days. But by the sounds of it, Stevens has been very consistent all the way through,
right?
And more recently, Moody's missed a few. But yesterday, obviously, it sounds like they both missed like 50% of their kicks. Now, it could just be an off day. If you play golf, every now and again, you're going to have an off round. So you've got to hope it's just that, and that at least one of them gets some level of consistency back. Otherwise, the kicker isn't on the roster.
Yeah, Moody was 4 for 6, and 2 for 6, and Stevens was 4 for 6, or 3 for 6. Sorry,
he was 3 for 6. He was 50%. Yeah, bang on.
Right. That's why, all of a sudden, I mean, Moody had been losing the competition anyway, but they weren't missing that many kicks. That's why I was like, okay, was there a lot of dew on the ground? What is it that caused them to have both of them miss that many kicks? Something's up.
Bad snaps. Don't know.
Well,
Trethway is back new to holding, but I had heard that he was doing fine. I mean,
with Moody and kicking in general, and again, I can speak from experience on this. When you start missing a few, those posts suddenly start to look a lot narrower.
They do.
And you miss a few more, and they look even more narrow. And what seems like a fairly basic job, kick that ball between those two sticks, suddenly looks a lot harder than it did when you were kicking the ball through the middle. So
anyway. And I noticed the ones that I see in the videos in our camp are always crooked. They're always kind of hanging off a little bit.
Yeah, but the ground, a bit of dew on the ground, that's no excuse. Sorry.
Okay, Scott, he crapped on my idea. Is there anything that I have anything going there? Am I just off base?
No. Potentially yes and no. It shouldn't affect the mechanism of how you kick the ball, whether it's in rugby, whether it's in whatever sport it is. Like a fly half, for example, in rugby, would have a set pattern of how they do things. We call the back girls, and whatever that's how it goes. Tony knows he will have a set up routine of how he does that. If something goes wrong in that routine, sportsmen are superstitious. We're all the same. I always put my left sock on first before my right sock. You know what I mean? It's one of them things that you do. You have these superstitions. Maybe something went wrong for both of them. Could it have been the ground? Potentially. You know what I mean? It could have been something as simple as turf, where they were taking it from, the distance, whatever, the wind. It could have been anything. Who knows? Who knows, really? But you just got to think that, as Tony said, it's got to be something that you hope that it's just an off day for both of them.
I don't think the wind was that bad this week.
Well,
I
mean,
if it was
other
other kinds of wind,
switch
you got to look at their diet
on a daily basis. Left and right.
Maybe Scott's right to list the win because looking at those fields, they're not pristine, but they're pretty good. If you're kicking on a mud bath, then okay, you might say the field's an issue, but you're not going to use the field. The wind would be far more of an issue potentially, and I don't know if it was, but as an ex-kicker, if you've got a crosswind left to right or a crosswind right to left, it can play havoc with you to some extent.
All right. It's like a sniper taking a shot.
Yeah,
you've got to account for the wind.
Yeah, you do. Once you miss a couple, your confidence starts to go. It's as simple as that. It's a confidence thing. It's like putting. You start missing a few putts, and you start.
Max, who's your stock down?
I hate to say it because I really like this player, but Mikey Sanders still.
It depends. Yeah, people get.
I've switched him and Reeves, even though it probably won't cut him, but he's on my bubble list.
And I'm very upset about it.
Leo is where I was going to go.
Chenault?
Mm-hmm.
All right. What are you seeing about him that's your
nothing at all?
Yeah, I saw him got blocked by Bill the other day, which was good for Bill. But
yeah.
So I mean, no news can be good news. All right.
Bill should be stock up. He should be.
I am definitely high on Bill anyway this time, but we're running late, so let's move along here. Let's see. So, what are you looking for in the game?
Well, who's Scott stock down? Who's Scott stock?
Who's your stock down?
Right. Matt Golbin. I want to see more from you as a center. I just don't see what's going on if they're bringing all these players in.
He's a sixth
I want
round
to see
rookie.
it a bit more. I know. But
Christ.
Come on,
what
man.
a hard grader he is.
He's been on the podcast with Scouts way too long.
Scouts is already down on our 6th round.
He's a
bum. First week of camp.
He's a bum.
Of course, figures. And I told you, I'm taking responsibility.
I would have said Samra still as well. To be fair, he's had a poor camp so far. He has had a poor camp.
To videos, he's had a poor camp. But at the same time, dude, I'll tell you what, stock ups. There's a lot of stock ups that I can give. We can keep going on that kind of shit. Ant-Man Williams, Ant-Man. That dude is going to put some people on skates this year. I'll tell you what I see when Antonio Williams makes his first move is guys flying out of the fucking screen.
You know what's a really good compliment is when Chad Ochocinco says, "Is this video sped up?" When he sees him come off the line and dust somebody.
Look, that's the 3-time champion at the Charles Hadley pool. He knows his shit.
All right, it's quite nice that he's sneaking under the radar a little bit, Williams.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we do have some things here we're going to get to. Sorry, I don't mean to move things along, but we've been on for an hour almost. We got into this lap.
And now, Scott's List.
All right, it's Scott's List of the week. So, Scotty, walk us through the list. Let me get us all set up.
Yeah, so I thought of a list and I was thinking about things, and I don't know why mascots came into my head. Me and my wife were talking about it because we wanted to rate rate this on chaos levels. So yeah, I mean, top of the tree there is Jackson DeVille. I don't know if you've ever seen the Jags mascot. He is a bit crazy,
him wear thongs.
jumping off the side of stadiums. He's a crazy shitbag. I mean, I agree. He probably would be the one who would steal a golf cart. Bluey, obviously at the Colts. Yep, he looks innocent, but he's certainly not innocent. And then we've got Casey Wolf of the Chiefs.
I've seen Blue take a fucking kid, a 5-year-old kid, and body slam him in one of those little football games
with that nice, cute Barney fucking television show face on it.
I think these fucking 7 and 8
hang around with that thing.
KC Wolf is the one for me. I mean, when you watch them mascot challenges where they're playing a small game between all of them, he's the one that takes out the kids.
Well, because he's a bank robber. He's a bank robber.
He was a dude, wasn't he? He was on the run.
God.
Yeah. You got the Seahawks blitz. The Seahawk, yeah, he's definitely up there, challenging in a dance off. I think he'd win.
Right.
The Texans won. Toro, yeah,
Look, we're not going to pick on gay people. Leave it alone.
And then at the bottom, I mean, I'm not gonna name them all, but then at the bottom here, you've got Major Tuddy. I mean, he's
Billy
still,
Buffalo.
He's still trying to find out what he wants to do, Major Tuddy. I mean, what is his fucking job?
Well,
Like, genuinely,
what else is his job? His job is to
applied
hang
to
around his park.
Tuddy's buddies yet?
Be dinner.
Not yet. I mean, I'm looking at this and thinking to myself, maybe I could do that job. You know what I mean? It'd be all right, wouldn't it? Major Tuddy, wander around, smile a bit.
Right,
yeah.
Dude, I'll tell you what. I knew the guy that was the Baltimore Oriole one year. Let me tell you, it's hell in those costumes.
I bet it is. To be fair, boiling them off.
Baseball. You're out there 80 times a year in a 100-degree heat.
What that mascot run we watched at the Nationals? Oh my god! Just yeah. When the presidents run, when they're all running past, it's like why?
All right, let's see.
Anyway,
We've got
sort of changed it up for a list. I thought I'll give it a whirl and see what we can do.
Scott, how much research did it take to find the mascot names? That's what I was cracking.
Well, yeah.
Scott
ChatGPT's your friend, anyway. But yeah,
his wife gave him a computer, a microphone, and the big book of NFL mascots. Is what he got.
That's it.
It's a pop-up book. All right. Anyway, speaking of pop-up books. All right, what do we got in Tony's World of Sports? What do we got?
Tony, you're on mute.
Oh, he's on mute.
Am I all right now?
Yeah,
you're good now, mate.
We're sticking in the NFL this week, having done ski jumpers penises last week.
Ski jumpers penises was
I was going to go with a similar related one to the ski jumpers, but I'll keep that one back because this is quite topical. This one came up.
If you say ski jumpers penis 3 times, Simone comes back into the chat.
She's just messaged me actually. Yeah,
there she is.
31.
On you, Simone.
Here she goes. Here she is. Anyway, there was this story came up last week, first reported, I think, by Florio on PFT, around the mysterious, potentially mysterious death of this businessman named Mohammed Koulibaly, who has allegedly ripped off numerous NFL players around some sort of investment scam around shopping, online shopping carts, essentially. The original assertion from Florio was that Steve Keim, the former Cardinals general manager, was connected to this guy, and that he was listed on the website as some kind of official of the company. Now, subsequently, I was researching this a bit today on ESPN. Keim is now basically saying that he is a victim rather than having anything to do with the organization because he's lost over $1 million.
Florio's a lawyer. He's not going to just say that unless he's stupid all of a sudden. The Florio's a lawyer. Yeah, that's what he was before he became the guy he is now. Anyway,
so Florio was basically raised the first story. So essentially what it was, I think, was, I'm trying to get this right. There was like an online shopping platform where if you invested in it, there were these online stores selling whatever products, and that several NFL players invested significant sums of money on the promise of a major return and a markup on their investment, and actually no money was ever made. And that when they challenged this Koulibaly character, he gave them various excuses. And then last week he was found dead in his swimming pool. So
now the NFL players involved,
as long as it wasn't Michael Barrymore's pool, but anyway.
Well, for me,
Jalen Carter's one of them, right?
The various players were listed, Jalen Carter being one, but also not only Keim, but also John Schneider, the general manager of the Seattle Seahawks.
Was also on the Dukes of Hazzard, right?
He was. Along with Bojuk and
late in the show.
Now,
it wasn't until later till Bo found out there was no money involved.
So John Schneider's come out and basically admitted that he lost a load of money.
Right. I mean, this is not the first time I've seen NFL players scam, but this is the first time I've seen the guy that scammed the NFL players end up dead in the pool.
Yeah. So various NFL players have basically come out now and said that I think this one guy, Tay Crowder, former New York Giants linebacker.
Yeah.
New York Giants put in $500,000
Jeez.
Told the ESPN he'd lost at least $500,000, effectively wiping him out.
Well, I mean,
So,
whatever the thing the guy was selling anyway sounds like a scam as it was. You're going to make money off of. So, whatever. I'm not going to say anything. I'll tell you what. The official position on this case of the Bleeding Burgundy podcast is we don't know nothing.
So it's just all a bit mysterious, and
a little bit.
Your man's brown bread.
I tell you what, man. I've said this before. I'll say it again, and this time I'm going to say it in a public forum, and people are going to probably yell at me. But you know what? There's sometimes I can understand why a person gets killed, but a thief, there ain't nothing lower than that. And we'll just leave it at that.
So, could be natural occurrences, or somebody may have.
Well, it is natural occurrences. When some big goon grabs you and shoves your head underwater, you tend to drown.
So I've found two little stories real quick.
All right.
One of them was a high school football player in Arkansas took his helmet off after they were doing their warm-ups, and a cottonmouth snake, a 2-foot long cottonmouth snake crawled out of his helmet. 2-foot long cottonmouth. For you Brits, a cottonmouth is a pretty venomous snake.
It's a venomous snake.
And it was in his helmet.
What?
Yeah.
Whilst the helmet was on his head.
While the helmet was on his head for about an hour.
Wow.
Jesus.
The snake
That's a patient snake.
Now, the second thing I found, the kid's fine. The second thing I found was, so at the Wing Haven Country Club, which is in Missouri. Oh, what is this?
We'll get there.
All right. The Wing Haven Country Club in Missouri had a members-only tournament where this guy, who used to be a former college golfer, realized he was in the first group today. He went out to hole 4, where they had a hole-in-one contest before the tournament started, dropped the ball on the green to make a ball mark, and then put his ball in the hole, and then drove back to the tournament. When his group was just about to finish on hole 3, he faked a phone call and went up to the tee box on 4. The rest of his group showed up. He said he hit his tee shot and he couldn't really see where it went. They go up to the hole, balls in the hole, celebrations happen, great. Well, then they want to see a recording of the shot because no one else was there. And they caught him on camera dropping his ball into the hole about an hour before the tournament.
People have been saying I've cheated better than anyone in history.
So,
was it Don? Was it the Trump?
So
I'm more interested in the snake in the guy's helmet. That's crazy.
This man has now resigned his membership from this country club and is being shunned from the golf community.
Oh, you know what? That's what happens when you cheat in golf. You get shunned.
There you go. Let's get this question from Andre up.
All right. Regardless of whether they wanted to leave or not, which Redskins player would you have re-signed and not let go as a free agent? Andre always bringing up the good history questions. Thanks, Andre. Mark Schlereth, Stephen Davis, Brad Johnson, Brian Arakpo, or Kirk Cousins. That's a good group. I tell you what, I'm going to go with Brad Johnson.
I'm going Brad Johnson as well.
Yeah, we had something cooking there. But you know what? The other thing about that
Snyder, man. Fucking Snyder.
Yeah, that's the thing about it. We would have had to be. It would have had to have been a whole different dynamic to re-sign him because Snyder ran him out of town. Dumbest thing. Ugh. Good question. All right, so we've got another one there from Simone. What do you think about all this stink about the Stefan Diggs number?
If she ever sees you, she's going to kick you in the nuts.
That's fine.
Correct.
Let me tell you something. There's
Please record it
for getting kicked in the nuts by a big Bavarian princess. All right. Anyway, I'm not going to go any further with that joke. I don't want Simone to leave us alone and say he's really an asshole. All right. So, yeah, what do we think about the Stefan Diggs number drama? Jesse, you had some rather interesting things to say. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Put up the
Stefan Diggs wants the number 7. Then Stefan Diggs should have the number fucking 7. The reason being is this. It's not fucking retired.
Well,
this
okay, but there's reasons for that.
Protected fucking number is BS, okay? So we're protecting these numbers because we might one day want to retire these numbers. That's fine, okay? You might one day want to retire, but they're not retired yet. So when you do want to retire them, then you can fucking retire them. Other than that, they're available. If he wants it, he should take it.
44 is available.
He should
All
take
right.
it.
Scott, go
It's
ahead.
not retired.
I'm going to save mine till last. Go ahead.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with it, but purely because if it's a protected number, I can understand it. The same as 44 and 7. You know what I mean? I get it. But Theismann gave it up for Dwayne Haskins.
He was kind of pushed into a corner with that.
I know that, but even so, with that, he gave that number up. So technically, yeah, Diggs 7 doesn't matter to me. I'm not bothered about the number that's on the jersey. I'm bothered about the player that's in it.
Okay,
for me.
All right,
Now,
Max, what do you think? Go ahead.
Okay, no,
Just
I just
gotta
wanted
rebut.
just to expand. Like if being that is protected, and I understand that aspect of it, but it's not like it's going to a rookie that could potentially like a first down rookie. I didn't really agree with the Haskins thing, but being
Same.
it's a veteran coming in here, he's only going to be here for a year. I don't see any fucking issue whatsoever.
I think you just said so right there. Max, go ahead.
I don't care. It's a number.
All right, there you go. Enough with you.
So,
Are you a Washington
Tony?
football fan active on social
It
media?
would be different if I had watched Theismann play and I had attachment to number 7, but
so
Well, I mean, that's something that's part of the discussion that I'll bring up. Tony, what do you think?
Well, yeah, I mean, as you can see behind me, Theismann was my first favorite player
There you go.
from back in the day. So, you know, I've got a big emotional tie to that. But at the same token, or by the same token, I think once they've done it once, you know, if once you've broken once you set a precedent or you've broken a precedent, then you've kind of, you know, you can't put the toothpaste back in the tube. You've already done it once for Haskins. Theismann's already. If Theismann did what Lawrence Taylor did to Abdul Carter last year and basically said "get fucked," you know, then you'd struggle to do it for a second time.
Lawrence Taylor went to prison for
once
going to it.
so.
You know, didn't we have a story, Max, on the Bang Radio Hour about Lawrence Taylor getting busted in a hotel room with a 13-year-old girl?
13-year-old girl.
Yeah, I ain't
playing
taking my
checkers.
morals. I ain't taking my moral check from him. All right, here's why you're all wrong.
Jeez.
Look.
All right, Jesse.
It's my turn. That's right. So here's the thing, Jesse, you're right. It hasn't been retired. It's just protected. But let me explain why. The dynasty that he was a part of ended, and then 5 years later, Jack Kent Cooke died. So we had always had a policy anyway of there was only one that ever got retired. It was 33, right? 9 never got retired, even though that's Sonny Jurgensen, and nobody else in the 70s, maybe 55. He's in the Hall of Fame, but that's not retired. But you don't retire numbers a year or two after the dynasty unless it's like Tom Brady and you know he's 100% responsible for it. And then he died, and then his kids didn't do fuck all with the franchise at all. And then Dan Snyder came along. So okay, I say there's honor to be remained in the past. You guys, I get your point about he gave it up to Dwayne Haskins. I think he kind of got back to the corner, and a mistake made once does not have to be repeated just because you did it the first time. So I say honor your past. They're getting around to it, right? They're getting around to it. If this was 2 years ago and he wanted 28, we'd all have had a fit. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I think Joe, even though if Joe would have won Super Bowl 18, he's in the Hall of Fame. Okay. Joe, I had a young fella that I met this week who was going off on stats, and it's like, okay, I get it. Stats are what you have, but look at some of the history. Go look at some of these games. They're out there. Look at what he was able to do. Nobody can really look at a career through statistics. I'm sorry, it's just not the way it goes.
Especially not comparing old stats to new stats.
Exactly.
Right. Exactly. The era is entirely different. The changes in the passing game alone, the rule changes made everything different. And Joe set records. But so that's, and not only that, but Joe's my favorite quarterback. So you're not going to get his number 7.
Keep him at 18. Who cares?
My favorite
18
players
and 17 are looking good.
My favorite player is Gary Clark, and I don't care who has his number because
Well,
he'll
I mean,
always be near and dear to my heart because that's the player that I watched when I grew up. But the fact of the matter is, I would totally understand if it was retired. It's not, though. It's not yet.
Okay,
it could be, but until that time is here, I think you can't just willy nilly have all these protected numbers.
Well,
they're
there's
not
not
being available because the fact of the matter is, there's going to be players that are going to come behind him eventually that are going to earn that same rep. And like, look, the best number 7s in the league, the best number 8s. Talking about
the best number 7 we ever had.
So, I just don't see until it's up in the rafters. I think it should be available.
Well, they're getting around to it. They're getting around to it. And the other thing about Joe Theismann that somebody else made a point to me this week was that when all this shit went bad and Snyder was here, Joe stuck with it. You know, he was our one tie back to the old days that stuck with us and tried to make it at least livable. Anyway, I don't want to dwell on it too much. We're already long in. Go ahead.
Well, he's not even a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, but that's only because of the Super Bowl 18's debacle. He was he was an MVP. He was the Super Bowl champion. Put us on the map. You know, he was.
So where do you go next year? They've done Darryl Green. They're doing Riggins
is next year.
They've done Monk.
They did Sonny.
Yeah, so I'm looking at this. So Sonny, Sean, Darryl Green, Sammy Bohr, obviously Bobby Mitchell and Art Monk are the ones that are retired. Then the protected numbers are Theismann, Charlie Taylor at 42, Larry Brown 43, Butts at 65, Sam Huff at 70.
I would retire all those before I would retire Joe. All the other ones that are protected.
About all that. But okay, everybody gets their opinion.
There's a number that if we say it, then Keith Gray's going to pop up here and start trolling us all.
No, we're not. We're not even going to talk. We're not even going to entertain that
joke. All right, we will go to the top 10 because we're getting late and Scott's going to go to bed with his new equipment. All right, so we've got some top 10 here. Let's see here.
What's wrong with Chuck's old equipment?
Yeah, Chuck's old.
Filled a couple of prams.
It worked. All right, so am I underwater?
Are you good?
Go. All right, so our top 10 things to look for during the Commanders-Dolphins joint practice tomorrow. If you're heading to practice, this is what you should be looking for. Number 10, anyone in a Dolphins uniform not named a Shane that resembles an NFL football player. Please, if you see one, let me know. This team, somebody really spent a lot of time writing to me today to tell me why what the Dolphins did this offseason was brilliant and that they should be listed as one of the best offseasons ever because they blew out about $100 million worth of cap and they've
got 200 in dead cap.
I know, and they got all of a 7th round pick out of everything. So I ain't buying it. Number 9 of the top 10 things to look for during the Commanders-Dolphins joint practice tomorrow. EDP 445. Look, I don't know if you know who he is.
Jesus.
He's got a fucking.
The fact that Chris Hansen did that should tell you everything you need to know about this man.
I bring him up because there's some older people that are watching right now that like the old show, and man, we made our fun out of this dude. When did we pick up on this fucking guy, Max? Like 2006,
2013.
Big fat, and I mean like 600-pound fat, enormous, fucking annoying Eagle fan, screaming and hollering, and this big high voice all the time. And then it turns out that he was busted in a sting trying to pick up 12-year-old girls. So if he is at camp, please watch out. Make sure your kids are safe. And also make sure your pizzas and sandwiches are locked up because this fat fuck will eat anything. Number 8 thing to watch out. Number 8 thing to watch out for during the Commanders-Dolphins joint practice. Quan Martin, is he there? Anybody heard his fucking name? I don't know. I haven't seen anything from him. Number
Still
7
tackles with his nameplate.
Does he? I don't even know if they're letting him do that. Top 10 things to look for during the Commanders-Dolphins joint practice. Number 7, DSOT over PJL over H2OB. That is the formula that you must pay attention to, which is direct sunlight times tree cover divided by porta-john location over water consumption and bladder size. It's hot. You find the porta-john that's going to be under the fucking shade by the time you have to take a piss, and that's the one you target. Hey, look, man, you got to think of these things, especially if you worked on construction sites. The number 6 thing to look for if you are at the Commanders-Dolphins joint practice tomorrow, the first of its kind fan overreaction tent with mental health assistance on hand to help fans crashing out over a Dolphins tight end catching a 4-yard pass. So fucking calm down, you dipshits. Number 5 of the top 10 things to look for during the Dolphins. Man, this is a lot to say. You know what it is. Number 5, a lost child roasting Mikey Sanders till
sad but true.
Which, of course, lost child meant watch out. EDP there.
Hey, yeah.
All right, number 5, lost child roasting Mike Sanders for the 34-yard touchdown. The number 4 thing to look out for in camp tomorrow, big fat loudmouth Chris Russell tripping over blades of
shit. I saw that today.
You don't think this is a big divot, you big fat fuck? You fell over your goddamn. You dropped your hot dog wrapper, you big fat ass. And you know what? I don't care what he has to say about it. That son of a bitch blocked me years ago. I have no idea why, but I'm glad he did because fuck off. I'm glad he fell down. I hope he gets bone sprints or shin splints from it. Number 3 of the top 10 things to look for during the Commanders Dolphins joint practice tomorrow. Commander security desperately turning away hordes of Dolphins players attempting to defect. It's going to be like that World War Z. They're all going to be trying to get away from the Dolphins. Number 2 of the things to look for tomorrow. Content creators standing in front of everyone, staring at their phone screen while they try to be the first one to post a shaky video of a drill happening 100 yards away.
Facts.
All right, the number 1 thing to look for during the practice tomorrow, the surgical destruction of the ankles of the guys forced to cover Antonio Williams. Watch it. It's going to be gory. And that's it. That's what we have for our top 10 today. And let's see. We have anything left?
Do you want an update on the Theismann number thing?
Oh, yeah, let's hear it.
So Grant Paulson's tweeted and said, talking with Theismann today about Stefan Diggs wanting to wear 7. Theismann said, the jersey belongs to the football team. I was honoured to wear it. I will leave it to the Commanders to make the decision.
He's being honorable, but don't give it to him.
As he should.
And besides, look, I'll tell you what, Stefan Diggs, I'll give him credit for this. He did say that he wanted to do it to honor Haskins, right? And one of the reasons that we all kind of were happy to see Joe give it to Haskins is because he was coming off of a 50-touchdown season at Ohio State. We thought we had somebody. But a 1-year rental? Come on. You know, I just celebrated my 24th anniversary. I'm not going to give it to the first guy that walks down the street. What's that?
If he wants to take it, I'm perfectly okay with it.
Well, that's the way we all stand on it. We'll have a poll about that up next week that we'll all forget to check, and we'll just ignore whatever the fuck it is. I'm sure by next week we'll have something else to talk about. So until then, everybody, we'll see you on next Tuesday. We'll talk about this week's game, and you know, who knows? We might show up on Saturday if we get a wild hair up our ass, and one of us wants to videotape. So see you later from the Bleeding Birdie podcast.